everyone, welcome to my review of the CSI Census board game. The game concept was conceived by the creator of CSI. This game is for much older people, ages 14 and up, and there's good reason for that. It's some of the younger kids might like the the plastic bug, playing with the little plastic bugs and things, and they might think the flashlight's cool, but aside from that, there's some choking, pieces that they can choke on for very young ones. The game is kind of complicated. It's really nice, if you're a fan of the show, or kind of a murder mystery buff. You probably like this. It's got quite a few things, that could appeal to people. It's kind of an intellectual game, I guess, which is why it didn't quite wind up making it too much with me. I play board games to kind of unwind and all that, so I don't really want anything that's mentally stimulating. And this definitely was mentally stimulating. But I often find that, everyone reaches this point a lot of times in their life when they kind of want to be more highbrow, I suppose, do more thought-provoking things, and and that'll be the time that they'll want to join book clubs, or they'll want to have their friends over to to drink cognac by the fire and discuss thought-provoking topics, or if they're going to play board games, something that that stimulates the brain cells. So this game is really nice for that. It comes in a nice little carrying case that kind of looks like a CSI, forensic kit. It's got playing characters. Let's see. Some of them are kind of creepy looking, or kind of pathetic looking, but collectible pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces. So, they claim 2 to 4 players or teams, but, they've got nice 8 pieces, so you can choose your favorite CSI character. We've got Grissom, and Catherine Willows, and Warwick, and, is that supposed to be Nick Stokes? Yeah, boy, they didn't do too well on Nick, I'm afraid. And, Sarah Side. It's been a long time since I've watched this show, so I've kind of forgotten the people. And Lieutenant Brass, and Greg, and Doc Robbins, the mortician guy. So, they even came with his little cane. You'll get a closer look with that. The box is in good condition. They've got, film cells of the people. Here they show the, the board game. And, so I'll set it up for you so you can get a look at it, out of the box. The board game actually, opens from the top. And, here's a closer look at the people, though I'm afraid I'm getting some kind of like reflection off of with the camcorder. And there's the different cards that you play. And there's the flashlight. I don't know, I guess these are, I guess they're batteries. And though I have no idea how you change them. And other things. So I'll take this all out and give you guys a better look at it. So here's the instructions, double-sided. Only one page of instructions. This game is so complicated to play. There's so many steps. But, it probably is kind of fun. It combines a lot of different things, that would appeal to different people. So what you got, this is the final evidence cards. You don't read those until you think you've solved the murder. They go in these little things. They're kind of like Clue that way. like most CSI board games, they only come 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like with 6 cases. And unless you've got I suppose a short memory or something, once you play them, there's a good chance you'll remember them. A friend of mine found that what she did is that she had clue cards, and sometimes they made up their own clue cards too. The board game Clue, and they would use them to play, combine them so that they could keep having fun with the game, but, have new mysteries. It comes with 2 UV flashlights, which I'll show. Both of them work. They come with batteries, though I have no idea how you change them. Paper, pencil, a 60-second timer, the envelopes, and then you've got your cases and the cards that go with each department. I haven't fully set this up, but I'm just giving you a basic thing. So what happens, there's different cases, and I like the little pictures they have of this thing. They show a little crime scene picture, and then the person reads, crime scene, a bride is found dead. The case is called Don't Be Cruel. A bride is found dead inside a wedding chapel. The suspects are the bridesmaid, an Elvis impersonator, and the groom. And death was by strangulation. So, to start off the game, what you do is that everybody looks at the picture and concentrates on it for 60 seconds. And then each person has a set of questions that they ask, or they have, and that the others have to answer. And whether you get the, like for instance, was the ice in the bucket melted, is what Gil Grissom asked. Well, you take a look, and no, it doesn't look like the ice is melted. So all the questions have something to do with the picture. Now, what this determines is whether you're going to take the long track or the short track. If you answer correctly, you get to take the short track, and if you answer wrong, then you have a longer track. So then, once that gets started, then the next thing is that the first player that starts takes a preliminary investigation card. There's micro and macro questions. Micro questions are generally easier, and macro is a little harder. Now, let me see if I can get this to show up. So, an example of like a micro question is, typically, which of the insects is the first to arrive to a corpse? Micro questions for preliminary investigation are kind of crime scene trivia. So, and then you use the light, and hopefully you can, you can see the answers in hidden. You need the UV light to show it. And the answer is blowfly. And then the macro side is the chance of using your sense of touch to locate the above bug from the bug bag. And this is the bug bag. And, it's got the gross out thing. You put your hand in, and you feel around in there, and you try to pull out the bug. And I didn't succeed, but then again, I didn't really try. They got a whole bunch of gross little bugs here. Just make you want to itch. They got a butterfly thingy, and beetle-y type thingy, and a scorpion, and this thingy looks like a bee. You got a spider, and you got a great big ant. That looks kind of like the ants that are in Lego Indiana Jones video game. And a fly, which I think I was supposed to take out. Anyway, so yeah, you got all these critters that just make you itch to go get a very large wadded up newspaper, smack them. So yeah, so that's the macro challenge for that. So you go along, and when if you answer correctly, then you get to roll the die and determine how many spaces you go. If you don't answer correctly, you have to stay put. It also determines on whether, with the big ones, it determines on whether you keep up with the short path or whether you have to take the long path. If you answer wrong, apparently you have to keep taking the the long path. Correct answers get you on the short path. After 3 tries, they do allow you kind of a mercy thing where you're allowed to roll the die so you can just progress. You always have to stop at the big squares where you have to do a challenge. And now, when you succeed, you get to read the evidence cards. And I don't have all of them out. Each case has an evidence card for each section, and I think that you read that out loud. I think. It gets really confusing trying to remember what you read out loud and what you keep quiet, but I am pretty certain that you read that quietly. Or you read that out loud. So, and that gives everybody a clue. So each section, like this was, it does really stimulate your brain cells. This tests your trivia and your sense of touch. And then, the crime scene sketch. This requires the pencil and paper. Some of the pencil and paper's been used. Okay. Sketch the following item for your opponents to guess. Saliva. And some of these can actually be quite easy, and this is actually one of the easy ones. And then the macro. Excuse me, folks. Sketch the following item for your opponents to guess. Blunt force trauma. So, and then the next section is Interrogation. And this is kind of a thing where you have to use to describe words. Describe the following subject without saying the words or others associated with it for opponents to determine. Oh, and by the way, the people that help you with this, apparently they get rewarded for helping you, like if you guess correctly or something, then they also get to move forward. That's their reward for, helping you, So it's in their best interest to help you, not cheat, but at least guess the words. And so, like the main thing here is bones, and they got body, break, skeleton. And then, describe the following subject without saying the word or the other associated with it for opponents to determine. They've got the fingerprint, 10 card, ink, arrested, suspect, latent. So that's that. And then you've got the audio-visual lab, which I didn't realize I had written on some of these cards, so I'll have to remember to put that in my description. Make the sound... Yeah, I kind of felt a little bit like an idiot playing this game. Make the sound of the following subject for your opponents to determine. Thunder. Okay, that. And then act out the following action for your opponents to determine. Climbing. So this is kind of like charades, I suppose. I've never played charades, so I think that's what charades is. And then Grissom's office. These are hard because they're kind of like math. You know those nightmarish math tests you always had? Yeah. So, Gil Grissom is counting the number of spiders at a crime scene. He counts 88 legs in total. How many spiders are present? And I believe, is this another one where the answer is on the card somewhere? I think they should be. I mean, I think it's 11, you know, because spiders have 8 legs, so I thought the answer, but you know, what if you don't know the answer? I thought the answer should be on here. Hold on, folks, let me take a look, a closer look. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell with the UV light. Huh. Huh. I'm sure I saw the answer somewhere. Can't seem to find it. The problem with the UV stuff is that sometimes in certain lighting it just doesn't really show up. But I am certain that the answer has to be, I'm sure. Oh yeah, wait, here we go. 11 spiders. Okay, it was over there. Yeah, it's a matter of trying to look for it. Okay, so, my math skills are improving. And then, after you do all that, then you get to look at the final evidence card and write down, and then you get to look at the solve card, and if you solve it, then you win the game. And so let's take a look at our colors people here. There's Gil Grissom. I don't know, he kind of reminds me of some singer, maybe not Eric Clapton, but somebody. And there's creepy Catherine, who, I don't know, does she look like one of the Jonas Brothers or something? Yeah. Catherine kind of looks like she's got a sex change or something. Definitely something weird with her eyes. And, Warwick, I think that's supposed to be a beard. Kind of makes him look like a burn victim. And I don't know, he reminds me of another actor. And he's got his hands in his pants like that Samson, or I don't know, that guy, and got a bit of a bald spot, it seems. Nick! Oh, God, what did they do with Nick? Poor Nick. He kind of looks like he's been punched, and I don't know, because, I mean, Nick was kind of cute, you know. And they got his hands behind his back, and looks like Frankenstein. Actually, Sarah probably looks the best of the bunch. They all kind of got a bobblehead thing kind of going here. And, Detective Brass, or Captain Brass, looks kind of like a Spaniard. But doesn't, got pretty big ears. And then Greg, they did a pretty decent job with Greg, I guess. And Doc Robbins, that's supposed to be his cane, though it looks more like a shotgun. They did a pretty good with Doc Robbins, too. You guys are in for it. I'm gonna kill you suckers. I'm tired of it. Yeah, that looks kind of suspiciously more like a shotgun to me than a... So... and a cane. So if you're into a game of intellectual stimulating your brain cells, this is definitely a perfect game for you. I found it to be a little too much intellectualness for me, but that's because I'm intellectual all the time, so you know, I need to take a break from that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you.